tropical island hell home 200 years.
Wings running like a gun and I can fly!
Woman must stop the violence against herself.
For those of you who don't know, Women Center Stage is our annual festival that brings together women artists, activists, and thinkers who are all engaged in the work of social change in some way. And we celebrate their work, and we learn from them, and we bring them together to talk.
Women Center Stage hits home for me in a very deep place as an artist, and as an artist who for my whole life has been looking to figure out ways of connecting to social justice movements. As a director of the festival, I feel like I'm now in a very privileged position to be able to help other artists find their voice in that way and to support them in connecting to the activism that's around them. We're not simply interested in women talking about women's issues, we're interested in women talking about all issues.
On a basic level, I see in all too many places the oppression of people that are unlike those people that are in power and that have a position on the imperialist mantle. I oppose that with every living breath I have. This is a basic fight. Women fought for the right to vote. They fought for all kinds of freedoms through the ages. And this is something that was triggered by, my having a daughter whose life was compromised by some of these unfairnesses. I lost my elder daughter and I wanted to do something that would commemorate her life. I wasn't really interested so much in closure as continuation. When we do great things, which is often the case in the festival, it just makes me feel that our friendship and love for each other continues.
The work that has come out of Women Center Stage has really run the gamut. Sarah Silverman's piece, Jesus' Magic, was developed early on at the festival. Lynn Redgrave developed her show, Nightingale. Cece Ann Chin, who's an acclaimed solo poet, has developed work in an ongoing way at the festival.
Jesus Christ in heaven, if you're not busy, come and take a look at this child!
We've also done a lot of music. There have been a lot of up-and-coming singer-songwriters who have tested out work at the festival, myself being one of them. Actually formalized the music piece of the festival in a project called Emancipate, which brings together women musicians with women community organizers.
I choose pieces in the same way that you select interesting guests for a dinner party. So you want to have pieces that complement each other, that feel that the overall presentation of the festival, A, meets a high artistic standard, and B, complement one each other so people want to come back and attend multiple events.
In 2007, Women's Center Stage produced an array of really exciting work. We looked at performance, we looked at women in conversation, we looked at music, and we looked at film. In the performance arena, we had Linnell Moïse, who's an extraordinary Haitian spoken word poet and musician.
Vodou Atlantis mute, the fragile eardrums of instant orphans get inundated with someone else's mama's soprano saxophone scream!
Eve Ensler and V-Day launched their book, A Memory, a Monologue, a Rant, and a Prayer.
I really want to thank the Culture Project and Alan, particularly Bushman, who has just been a force for good theater and good art and good life and good change in the world.
And so the mother had to leave empty-handed.
Ladies Laugh Last was an evening of comedy. Brought in 5 women comedians, some of whom are emerging, some of whom are a little bit more established on the comedy circuit, and had them do what they do, and it was an extraordinary, totally sold out evening of just hilarious comedy.
We stopped getting dressed.
A round of applause. Who in the audience is like an Iranian American Muslim female?
The long-term vision is to have the work that gets done by talented women artists in New York City be gathered together where one day there will be critical mass that can attract an international audience to come and see work specifically by or about women. We should celebrate the work of women, and as they're growing as a really formidable political force throughout the world, they should be an artistic force as well.